Hello, hello. Do we have anyone? How is the technology working? Afternoon, Darrell. How you doing? Where are you? You can hear. Being able to hear is such a good start. All right. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good whatever it is, wherever you are. So, a little unscheduled stream. It's a good start, isn't it? No screaming today. Um, so, I have all of Mini Colors range with me, and I think probably one of the best uses of a live versus a tutorial, because it'd be an extremely hard tutorial, is to just take your questions about color schemes and show you right here, right now on a piece of paper. Not product design, although that is literally how a product can be designed. Um, uh, Unscheduled screens, no, none of those, hopefully. It's kind of funny actually that that's been shown up. I'm gonna have to go and get mine now. I don't think it'll fit under the camera though. But very literally, that's that is the result of that drawing. That drawing became a product. How cool is that? Oh, Dominic Martin. Let's start with that. I am super happy to field the Rhinox question. I get Rhinox, Drybark, and Doomball mixed up in my head. It's not Doomball. Okay, I'm getting you out mahogany or chocolate. Which one of these is it going to be? I know there's one. You're gonna have to help me out. Fantastic start, Dominic. Good prompt. That's what we like to see. Picking one of the strongest paints in the range. Strongest in quality, not in like coverage. It's just an awesome color. Okay, this is chocolate. Thank you. Everyone is very switched on today, which is good because I seem to be fumbling my words. So, I'll take the viewers being more switched on than I am. Okay. Oh, you guys know your Rhinox. Right. Are you how knowledgeable is the chat? Are we talking old Rhinox that you would like it to be compared to, or new Rhinox? If you know, you know. I'm going to start on this slightly used page. I don't think it'll matter. I'm running out of pages in my notebook, and I guess we could go along on this. Okay, so when we are working out color schemes, I don't think people think about using a piece of paper nearly as much as they should. I will show you what I regard as two very different but both fairly strong schemes. One's a bit more intelligent than the other. I'm sure you recognize one of them. Hopefully, I don't drop him in chocolate. Okay, classic ultramarine here, complemented by a nice warm base next to his super cold blue. I realise that this should be a bit more lavendery and a bit more drab if it was a TM ultramarines blue one, but I think this looks cool, so is what it is. And then what we have here is a Trench Crusade mini, and I would say this is a much more complex scheme. I've just tried to keep everything around the same type of drab greens, and I think it's turned out quite well actually. I don't know how to finish it, which is why it's not been finished, because I'm scared about ruining it. I'm sure we've all been there. Okay, so this one's based around olivey tones, and then the ultramarine was super blue, super duper blue. Right, let's string out this. This is our chocolate, by the way, and I would say it beats old Rhinox for those of you in the know about how special a thing that is to be able to say. Look at that, what a beauty. So these are the mini color paints for anyone that doesn't know. That is our range we produced like this. You can still late pledge on the Kickstarter now, by the way. The pledge manager has just opened. Don't know if any of you are backers. What did you add if you were? So let's use this as a color scheme. I'm going to need a bit more from the chat though, please. So is this like just shout out ideas. Is this the base? Like literally the base? The basing scheme of the army? Do you have brown Space Marines? No one does brown Space Marines and they look amazing. Or do we want to keep this as like a color that's present throughout the scheme? You've asked about Rhinox, so you got to give me a bit more. Do you want me to try and include this with some other colors and just show you how they'd work together? That's cool, mate. Brown Tau, absolutely brown Tau. Okay, I'll take that one and run with it. Actually, it's probably going to end up with colors not dissimilar to his base. You have chocolate. I had Kylie Minogue in my head just before because I was sorting out my lighting using a lot of masking tape. And there's a very famous clip of her saying that all of her risque costumes in music videos were just held on by tape. Okay. Old brass, Timbits. I like that. Well, guys, whether you've added anything or you just added the postage, we're very excited to be able to get them to you. Back at number 34. Good, Daryl. Okay, I'm going to roll with a couple of the requests we've got from the chat. I've got some different stuff out here. Tell you what, someone's mentioned Timbits. I don't have an equivalent of that, but I'm going to show you involving this with Screaming Bell, and we'll just see where we end up going. Okay, then. We can go in various directions. And I just love that you guys chose this paint for me, because I love this paint. It's one of the best ones in our range. And the range is good. So saying we have this is a particularly strong one from an already strong selection is brilliant. Okay, right. So kind of interesting here. You can see the silver bits within Screaming Bell appearing out there. So what we have in Rhinox is like fairly neutral paint. It's warm-ish, but it's not like mega warm. We have much warmer browns than this, but it is a warm brown, albeit a dark one. So let's see what happens if we start involving some metallics, because this is a really good color to be pulling your metallics down with. Straight away, I mean, it's made for base coats, this type of a color, because it is kind of shadowy and deep. It's also a very safe color because you can imagine in the future or in the past or any time, the shadows of something can be a dark brown. Now we could get fancier, but as a general rule of thumb, if you're army painting, your shadows being dark brown is fine. You know, it's not going to go wrong in any way whatsoever. Aviad MD, what's the cutoff deadline for late pledges? You got a little bit more time. I'd get in there if you want to, but you don't have to rush in today. Okay. Right, let's continue going with this little thought experiment. So if we are going from Rhinox to Screaming Bell to more Screaming Bell, right? So we got this type of a mix going on between these two colors. Probably I'll put it on. Oh, Dominic, you're going to be super pleased for replacing things for NMM. Although I'm not giving you good examples here, but yeah, it does that pretty beautifully. Also very good for skin. And it's smooth. It's extremely smooth. So if you're using it in the early stages of your painting, it's really, really helpful. Quite a lot of people start off with GW browns for their skin tones. If they're trying to keep, you know, it's on a face, it's a very small area. You're trying to keep it smooth, and you go up to more matte, more lumpy paints as you need the strength, but it's great. It's wonderfully smooth. Beautiful. Joshua, we're not going to be shipping for a good while yet. So if you back it now, you'll still have a couple of months to wait until we ship. 3 months. All right, so hopefully you can imagine how this would be on a metallic. I can probably quickly bash one out. Again, egg. And we'll just do a little shield. Why not? Hey, no worries, Joshua. All good. We'd said our aim is to be shipping, like it leaving us, not arriving with you, but it leaving us in May. We're doing everything we can to stick to that as well. If we think that's not going to be possible, we'll update people and let you know. We won't keep you guessing. Okay. Probably could have been a bit heavier on the Rhinox, but my God, that's gone on in one coat and it's gone on beautifully. Dominic, you're getting 50% of the advice that you're after about NMM. There's a little bit of shine in there, but not much. Okay, we'll leave that to dry for a second. So you got some stuff like this going on. What do people want to know? How you would add color? Let's say this is the armor in your scheme, your brassy people. What do people want to know? How like is it how you'd add color into this? How you'd pick gems? I mean, you could add verdigris to this. You're not going to have to try hard to get me to pick turquoise, are you? Seemed inevitable, but I could see turquoise going very well with that. And this is a really valid way of doing a scheme. You can literally just start from one paint you like, and on paper there are no consequences to the messing around bit. So let's continue our playing. Right, so obviously that's going to stand out quite a lot if we put it with this brown. We've gone from warmish brown to coolish turquoisey. Yeah, just standard line, buddy. It's just a normal notebook. It's of all things. Ever the nerd. I have a Wizards Play network notebook for Magic the Gathering. Right. Okay, so let's put a little bit of this on there. Looks kind of good. What if we just mix these two together? If we want this to be less full on, what can we do? Now we are talking. Look at that. That's gorgeous. That's very, very nice. That is one hell of a color. That's really cool. So we have an accidental discovery now. What do we do with that? Well, we have an option. Let's just put a block of that color on the notebook and we'll see if we discover anything. Don't know about you guys, that this is kind of making me think of I don't know, like deep sea diving suits. Got an aquary color for the ocean. That is a deep sea color and a half though. Look at that. What's that? Stormy blue gray? Really cool. So because Rhinox's equivalent is wonderful, chocolate, if we're going to use the upcoming mini color names, you could have this as the base for everything. Yeah, John, like this is amazing because you're not worried about screwing up. So, that's you shouldn't be worried about the consequences of things going wrong if you want to encourage creativity. So I would say it's a really good idea to put it somewhere where things don't matter. And if this goes wrong, you rip the page out, you put it in the bin, and you do another one. Or you keep it and you stick it on your wall, and that's useful. So yeah, use paper. Right. Let's take what we've got so far, and let's say we've got a metallic armor option, we've got a bluey armor option. We can put some verdigris on the bronze metallic one if we want using these colors, and that would look really, really good. Let's put some little squares out in kind of like highlight order, and we'll see what other color would look good. And we've got all of the range to pick from, so I'm sure we can find something. Not that this is from our range, but we're not going to go out there and say throw away all your old paints because you've bought ours. because I don't think that's the way that companies should behave. You might want to throw away some of them. That's your choice. If you are going to do that, because I know people like fresh starts and I'm excited to do it, I really would recommend that you find a local hobby club or a school club. Some hospitals have kids gaming clubs and things like that, or donation pools, and you just donate all your paints in that direction. It's a very nice thing you can do with them. Right, I'm going to stop using my good brush, go to my trusty old brush. We'll let that dry, and I'm going to do, let's make another little batch of our stormy. Okay, so if these are our two of our colors, let's try and think of something that'll look good with both of them. Painting with Slapshot using different colors at the dry brush stage, such as yellow dry brush and green contrast over the top. Had no joy with reds, but could be a video idea. Some colors it works with and some it doesn't. It's very, very interesting. Some will just dominate, some will neutralize. A really good one to try is using peaches, pinks, and then putting yellow over the top. I'd use Imperial Fists contrast for the last stage for that. There we go. David, donate to your grandson. Keep it in the family. Okay. If it was you guys, I mean, pick another color that you'd like me to try and make work with this. Do you want a very bright green? Do you want something drab? Let's say this miniature has, I don't know, lenses on it. Would you like me to try and find a green to fit with that idea? This would be a cool Skaven scheme, actually. And probably some new Space Marine chapter. If there's any fluff knowledgeable people in the chat, maybe you can find an answer to suit what I'm doing. There we go. It's got two cool colors that we think will work well together. They start from literally the same base. Red. Oh, I'm making it tricky for me. Okay. This is kind of ready. So let's see if we can make that work. Maybe we won't be able to, but let's give it a try. I'm going to pick a brownie red. Sangria. It's coming out. Beautiful color. Kind of what you'd expect with it being called sangria. So it looks like this. So what I'm going to do is we just got to see if we can continue to involve Rhinox in all of our colors. Absolutely looks like we can. I don't see any problems with that. I think it's going to look pretty good. The Kickstarter has been and gone, but you can still late pledge for it. So our set is separated into sixes. So that I'm using a warm brown currently. There are 6 warm browns. There are 6 reds. There's 6 teals and turquoises, 6 cool greens, 6 warm greens, 2 blacks and a white. Matte black, normal black, white. It's a satin. It's either you describe it as a soft matte or a heavy satin range, somewhere in that ballpark. Very user friendly as well, and beautiful colors. Of course, I would say all these things, but they are the targets we had when we started out with the range, and I'm pretty sure we smashed them. Okay. So we have our red. I think, because this is somewhat orangey, we can take it in the direction of an orangey finish. So I'm going to grab one of the absolute bangers from the set, which we're going to have to use with care. Yeah, check it out. Kickstarter's still up. There'll be a button that says late pledge, and you will be getting it for still a very good early bird price, which will be less than the retail price if you get it from the Kickstarter. There's also some exclusive stuff you can add, and it will have a limited edition box. So there's a few good reasons to still get involved now. Right. Sangria, beautiful. Chili, pretty strong. Here we go. I think they would look amazing together. Oh, amazing controversy. Amazing controversy. That's a strange sentence to say. To viewer controversy. Amazing that you have your supplies on the way. Nothing like waiting for a parcel in the post, is there? Okay. So here we've got what I think would be quite a complementary scheme. That would be pretty easy to execute. If you got, if you slipped outside your lines, everything's so kind of harmonious and it all starts from the same beautiful dark chocolate that really it wouldn't go wrong. It's an amazing red. It's incredible. Let me show you another one. People always talk about the red from Chimera. So this one's a little bit orangey, and I'll get out Cardinal. It's weird to say, but Cardinal, I don't quite know how. I never know how to describe it. Cardinal's crazy. It's got a bit of white in it without it being pinky, and that gives it quite a lot of punch. I'll show it on black after this. But yeah, so there's Cardinal. Right, black palette. There's Cardinal doing its thing. And it's still pretty smooth as well. Normally if a paint behaved like that, you'd have some sacrifices, but this is the one that you'll underpaint underneath other reds to then paint over to have them be the reddest they can possibly be. So for example, this with Sangria or Claret over it is, if you're going to do like Hot Rod Red, that's how I would approach doing that. It is outstanding. The reds are extremely strong. I will have actually, gotta be careful. I got wet pages. There's some golds, turquoises, purples, browns. I can't very easily find my red page, limited as I am. All right. Oh, here we go. There they are. So it's the sangria that we were using. Claret, it's just gorgeous. Then we've got cherry, also gorgeous. They're all gorgeous. Pomegranate, that's going to be your Mephiston-ish one. A little bit dirty on the others and extremely good coverage. Then cherry that we just used, and cardinal that we also just used. There we go, mixed with purple. That's violet. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a reason that classical oil painting uses such badass colors because they've got them right after, 5,000 years or more. So I can tell you that the most popular exclusive edition has been It's quite heavy, that's why I'm making grunting noises. It's too big to show up really, given how zoomed in my camera is, but it's the Founder Edition um, rack, which is how I store mine. There's the texture. You can put it edge down so it takes up a very small space on your desk. I just got mine to my side because it makes it easier to show it off. Right, I think we smashed scheme one. I'm going to grab an orange just to add a little bit to this, and I will see what I would highlight this with. That's gone as far as it needs to, and then I think that is one scheme down, making me think of Caratron Overlords. Does someone want to give another color scheme query or suggestion or idea? Happy to run with whatever you guys would like to see, or if you just want to see some colors demonstrated, be more than happy to. Right, papaya, it's coming out. Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it, David? That's been the most popular edition. It's a properly beautiful piece. You can mount it on the wall as well. I can't turn it over because my paints will fall out, but it's got eyelets on the back. Ivory and Burgundy, KM. Great suggestion as always, buddy. Right. Paint's dried out, so I can't do a blend, but that type of finish. That'd be a cool scheme. Bright greens and white and red without it being too Christmassy. That's an interesting one. All right, let's go for. I'll go in order. First come, first served. This is Tusk. It's bright ivory. If you're going to compare it to other ones that are out there, um, there we go. So there's a very good idea of that. A little bit of orange in my brush, but that's okay because we're going to be going way more red. I mean, we just pretty much had burgundy out with sangria. This feels like kind of Marines-ish to me. This combo, I think. It's a brave combo because obviously this isn't a strong coverage paint, but it's a very strong color. So if we mix it in with a light color, we're going to get this type of thing. Makes a very cool color though. David, you're preparing way ahead of time. I like that enthusiasm. Fantastic. All right, burgundy and ivory. Um, so I think when you've got colors like this, I really like purple and cream as an equivalent of this combination. Looks very good on high elves and good guys. I think it's pretty popular in Horus Heresy. Someone's purple and cream there, maybe, or there's very often you can end up highlighting your purple with the cream. Dominic Martin, that is absolutely fine. You engineer to your heart's content. We made great paints. You can do whatever you like with them. So what I think you need very often in a scheme like this is you need to pick some boring colors, because this is pretty cool and it's very light and it's very bright. This is super deep and really sexy. You don't need to add much more because it'll end up looking a little bit like a color explode of a model, and you'll lessen the impact of these two cool colors. They are warm, but cool in that sense of cool, by kind of pushing the scheme too far in too many other places. And this is something that I think is very common before people have got a bit more, a few more miles under their belt and experience doing armies and stuff. So let's try and settle on some drab colors to go around this. That doesn't mean like, it doesn't have to mean like grayscale, but I want them to be pretty toned down. So, gonna get Pete. Hey, you gotta admire what you can't do, right? I couldn't do what Dominic's doing either, so no, I'm in admiration that he's capable of doing that because I'm not. Okay, that's Pete. Now, Pete's really cool color, but that might be a bit too greeny to work. So let's set Pete to the side for now. Cross next to it. Pick a warmer one. I hate to just go back and use the colors we've already used, but it legit might be chocolate here. Chocolate might be the option. Let's go for chocolate and bark mixed. So this are our straps, like holsters, all those little elements that you would have on a wargaming army, typically shoes if it's fantasy. Good. Okay, that's a bit more suitable. If you wanted, you could take the littlest bit of your red and you can mix it in there. Was that noticeable? Look at that. That works really well with those. Now, we're going to know that if we were to highlight that with a bit more of our ivory, probably it would look great. Place it in this side here. Yep. You have another option, which is to highlight. You could just add in. Might be a bit too much. We'll add in a little bit of our highlighting yellow with care because that might look a bit too much. Thanks, Kim. Glad it showed up. There we go. That's your strap sorted. And then probably amongst this, it's wargaming, there's going to be some type of metal. So let's work out the color for the metal, and then we'll go on to a different challenge. Probably lost them in the chat. Okay, so we can make our steel warm really easily with the colors that we've already used. It shouldn't be an issue, and we can simply mix this with it. I mean, it's basically perfect. First go. Wonderful. This is why we play on paper. I would go probably with wargaming, with this type of thing. I would start pretty light and then I'd wash it down with this color or have this color around the rivets or something like that. Wash it all down and then put some really bright edges on it. So often that is the answer to a load of problems. So if I see if I can do a better visual representation of that. Okay, so there it is, dark. There it is, more dark. And then we'll be coming towards, this is your highlight. So rivets would look like this. That's really safe combo there. It's not super warm because our brown was made of chocolate, which is warm but not like over the top. It's not like Jasper, which is one of my favorite colors in the range, which is super punchy. That would just be too far. I'll put some down now and you'll see why. You could use it, but we've tried to do something that isn't going to steal attention away from our really important burgundy. Right, so that's going to dominate things too much. It's going to steal the thunder from the red. David, 100% we are. I say we, and I mean we, all of us who are involved. So that's Artis Opus and Cult of Paint, which is Andy and Henry. Me and Andy and Henry are excited for it. Don't you worry, there will be, you know, how to ultramarines with mini color, or I know he's not one, but use our imagination. How to blood angels with mini color. How to blood angels another way with mini color. How to blood angels the third way with mini color. You get the idea. We will be excited to go down all of those paths. That is a fantastic question, KM. I would, I think you've probably already answered it. Yeah, a deep green. I would maybe come from like a warm purple. Let's do that now. Let's tie a bow around it properly. Uh, let's experiment live. I want an excuse to show off lavender. So we got to be careful here. Or a blue, a deep blue, or a deep green. Right, this is a crazy color. It's a proper triumph. This color, what we've managed to do with it. That'll go over anything without it being boring or dull. You can make it more like perfumey lavendery by adding in teals. Really nice. Cheech, fantastic question. Yeah, never an excuse needed for purple. Oh, you said purple. Um, good enough for me. I'll show you my cloak in a second. David Ellis. On my Tomb Kings. I also have an army waiting. Were there any colors you wish you did but weren't able to this time? Yeah, I've got one of them at my table. Yeah, there were a few that we had to cut from the 63, but we've kept. We've absolutely kept them for the future. Anything that was too good for us to say goodbye to for forever has been very carefully noted, and we're gonna pay good attention to it in the future when there is a suitable point. We've got some other priorities. We need to get some grayscales out. Andy's very keen to do a gold set, which will be non-metallic. So it'll be a really good selection of browns. Right, we got to decide our muted green. Let's give this a go. I mean, we still want it to be quite poppy, don't we? It's lizard and grape, maybe. Too much multitasking at once. Right, start from these two. So by mixing them, we get quite a drab beginning. We could try putting a bit of... Let's get this really colourful grey. And then our aim is to build up to something like that. Is this successful? Maybe. Maybe that would work. Maybe that's a bit too cold. I can probably just add some lime. John, we will release things if we think we've made the best version of them that's ever been. So there's quite a few things that have been tested, and we're just shelving until we can make them good enough. And if we can't make them good enough, we won't bring them up. Simple as that. There's a lot of very good paints out there. We're not interested in bringing out what we feel is like, obviously different types and styles are valid, but we don't want to bring out something where we think it's the second best version of something out there. So not how we approach things. There we go. Yeah, warm green. That's leaf, by the way. Uh, oh. Indie respawn. I should have been able to guess your question for your name. What, like that? Or depending exactly when it's from. The the set is extremely full of nostalgia value. There were a couple of purples we knew we needed to hit, but generally speaking, that we have compared to old beloved purples. But generally speaking, there's colors we felt that you just had to have a version of. Like you had to have a carmine red, you had to have a cadmium red, you had to have a super deep one that we've called um, claret, wherever it's gone, claret somewhere. Um, Same with sangria. So there's a few notes that we thought we needed to hit. Looks like the ionics. I hope that's a compliment. Yeah, you'd be happy. You can pick either of those, and you'd be a happy man out of those two greens. I mean, you can just kind of tell when you see the colors next to each other. Even though we don't have too many colors, 63 to begin with, we've worked really hard on making sure that we hit the very important notes. Late pledge via PayPal, but have to order a CC now for the shipping cost. What's a CC? Sorry, I could be being dull due to my inability to multitask on stream. But you do have a little while to confirm your pledge, Martin. Okay, so that's all looking pretty good. This scheme would be super cool. I'm going to show you purple and cream because I've got them. I've got them out. This is what really cool Hylf armies are made of. This type of combo. My painting water has been used quite a lot, quite fast, so I'm not sure how pure a version I'll get of the cream. Yeah, not bad. Those two together just look beautiful. It's amazing. It's out of this world. That's the deep one, and then lavender is I just don't know how to describe lavender, but it's crazy. You'll use it and you'll be like, "Oh, that's cool." It's like, and you realize that it's not like anything. Not anything that's still available. Look at that. What beauty. Dominic, is that because you know the backstory behind Ionic? Does it taste nice? It smells good. I wouldn't say it tastes nice. It doesn't taste bad though. Yeah, the teals are strong. This is it mixed in with chocolate, by the way. I don't know when you arrived. That wasn't chocolate. That's chocolate. No worries, David. Thank you for your excellent questions. Yeah, Dominic, I know the story too. Not nice stuff. Uh, Rest assured, if you didn't like that, you can rest easy with our approach. because we've made this in conjunction with someone, and we've worked with Colourful Paint for a long time. So we're excited to support them on this joint venture. This will be done the right way. How do I know what the taste is like? It's gone in my mouth quite a lot. Okay. Is there anything else that people would like to see specifically? Are there any colors in the range you'd like to just see me put down on the paper before I shoot off? Honestly, they're all so good. It's just really exciting. Darkest purple, gherkin, KM. All right. There's always time for gherkin. This is my favorite, by the way. KM's well aware of that. This is what I think is the coolest color in the range. Look at that. Just amazing. Looks ripe. Amazing. Controversy. Glad you can get in early while it's there for a bargain price, and you get limited edition, which is a nice thing. It's lovely, isn't it? There is a yellow. All right. Do you want drab or orangey or crisp and bright? I'm gonna get out the darkest purple here. This is the darkest purple. It's just so beautiful, isn't it? What a color. Yeah, no worries, Martin. All good. You're absolutely safe, so don't stress about it. Crisp, lightest and darkest. Okay. Very different paints. We've only got 3 yellows and a highlight one. So mustard, canary, and then this is our highlight yellow. So I won't show that. It's already up there. Could just spread it out a bit. No, I can't. He's dried. Our working time's pretty good, by the way. Consider that I'm putting these on paper here and they're remaining workable. Let's get mustard down. This is your dirty yellow. This will see a lot of use. Someone's asked about flesh tones. You'll use this within your flesh tones, perhaps mixed with something else, or well, pretty much always mixed with something else. Good coverage, but still very smooth. And then canary. Now, this isn't going to win any coverage competitions, but it is going to win the competitions for being very bright. Let me see if I can find a... Yeah. So that's it versus Flash Gits. Crisp. Obviously, it's a warm color, yellow, but this is like cooler by yellow standards. I just realized that both of those have look kind of luminous on that. I'm seeing the stream through a delay. As are you guys, technically. Okay, let's put it down on paper. There we go. And it would be rude of me, because we've got it still on the palette, not to show. Look at that. That's lime and canary mixed. It's one of my favorites in the range, just made for glazing. Do I have? I think I've taken a. I did have an Eldar vehicle about, but I'm pretty sure that it's now in Element Game stock put. Uh, no, I would recommend doing it over the other yellow. In fact, let's just do a little bit now. I can play now. Over or with or in conjunction with. sandy desert colors here. Kind of towy, I guess. Majestic about our purples and violets. I'll take that, mate. Any day. Thank you very much. That is pretty eloquently. You've put exactly what we were aiming for there. Shall I? I'll spoil you now. Get out fuchsia. No worries, no. This one, honestly, like if if your aim is to have something that looks like this, you only need a small amount of your model to actually be that because it's just so full on. So you could come up from like purple shadows or anything, go through a more dirty one or a mid-tone yellow or even like a tan, something like this. And then use that for the final parts. It's really good, right? How pretty is this page? It's getting prettier, I promise. That's hollyhock, not fuchsia, sorry. So you've seen the cooler ones, the violets. Now we're getting a bit warmer. Remind me again what the parts of the Zorn palette are. It needs a very specific something, but I've forgotten. I've not done it. Thank you, Dominic. We are extremely pleased with the purples, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that there might have been 20 iterations of each purple until, on average, until we got it right. I've got an old batch of the purples to my left. Previous purples. We have improved and improved and improved and improved and improved until we got where we are, and they're outstanding. Let me show you my click. So, how's he showing up? Move this. I think it might. It looks pretty good, but we should get a more accurate representation. So our teals, obviously, apart from the metallics, yeah, this is all mini color. Apart from metallics and washes, I knew there was something else. I've used Citadel for those. Cool, right? They're nice to work with as well, the purples. I think a lot of purples are kind of a faff, I guess is the best way of putting it. And it's because purple's such an incredibly difficult color to get right. He speaks as a result of experience and torment while we try to get ours right. Controversy will happily take your money and will exchange you 63 paints for it. So yeah, it took us a really long time to get the purples right. And we're very, very, very pleased with where we've ended up. And I absolutely need to do a purple version of this. Now we've got purples that we are satisfied with. The blues are outstanding. No one's asked about like the classic blues. Get out Cobalt because it's incredibly good. 24,000 sets. Hey, you'd be painting one of those statues that GW takes to conventions. If you need that much miniature paint. That's a lot of 19 mils. These are large capacity bottles, by the way. Not that I think anyone runs out of paint that often, but for what it's worth. This mix with the purple is nuts, by the way, so it would be rude not to do that. Null, that's a wonderful question, and we are very much up for any local gaming stores. Artis Opus trade. Just Google Artis Opus retailers, but it's trade@artis-opus.com is the email. Check out our website. There's a retailer section there. Just get in contact. It will be Charlie that you deal with. If they want to open an account, they could start getting brushes now and then, obviously, as soon as Mini Color is available. That will be the place to get it as a shop. Oh, now we're talking. Look at that. Lush, right? And you don't need many colors. The thing that we found, so we did have 12 purples at one point, and the thing we found more and more, I'll show you all the purples in a row because this will better illustrate my point. The thing we found more and more is that you just have to, you got to make some really hard decisions, but it's about thinking about whether you've hit the colors that it is important to hit. And Andy and Henry, who we're working with, they know their stuff. Andy is a very, very talented and prolific multiple award-winning painter. Is that the right order? There you go. So that's the purples. That's what we got it down to. They are looking semi-accurate on screen there. It's difficult for these things to come across perfectly. But yeah, that's what we got the purples down to. And that covers so much of what you're going to need in painting. There isn't, it's going to be a bit more niche what we come out with in the future. We've covered pretty much everything that you could need there. And when you get so many of the colors right, it means that a lot of your recipes are like, well, 2 drops of this, 1 drop of that equals your Santorini blue, like you said there. Weird thing is I take the colors out of my light and they just look even better. So that's nice. I have one thing that just won't show up very well on camera here. I've got a quite unclean one that I did, but sadly he just he misbehaves under light. Thank you. All right, we are coming up to the hour mark. Does anyone have any questions for me before I go? They can be about anything, about the paints, about the pledge manager, painting in general, issues you've had. Our recent tutorials. Gore one just came out. Before that, we had Pigments that was extremely popular. Hopefully, any of you who watched that were encouraged to try out Pigments if you've not tried them before. They're really good fun. Where's my base? I should. Let me find the Kickstarter. There's the link to the Kickstarter. That's a fantastic question, Intraclast. You mean a normal brush, presumably. My favorite color is this one. It's Gherkin. By a long way as well. That's Gherkin. Okay, so brush size. I would hazard a guess, if you're looking to try larger brushes, probably you have used something like a 2 or maybe a 1 quite a lot, and you could step up, or you can see how much I've used this 3, it's discolored. You could step all the way up to a 4 way more easily than you think for miniature painting. Pickles are the best. So I would recommend personally, I'd say you literally could step up to a 5, but I would recommend stepping up to an S4. That's an amazing brush, and just use it for everything and hold on to it in your painting. Let's say you're base coated with it, and then you go to layering, then go to highlighting. See if you can do the highlighting with a size 4. You may well surprise yourself. And the nice things about a larger brush is that they've got a bigger belly, so the paint stays workable for longer. But also, you get less tip drying because it's a more stable environment than a small one. Talked you into a 3. I should have talked you into a 4. 4 is life. 4 is my favorite. 3 is a lot of people's favorite. 5 is some people's favorite. And some people's favorite's a 00. Intraclass, please, if you tune into it live again or you tune into one of our premieres, just let me know how that goes for you. This is our recent pigment base, by the way. Turned out very, very well. Anyone who's put off trying pigments, you shouldn't. Have great fun. Right, we've crossed the hour. I'm going to say my farewells. Just let me know before I go, what country did you tune in from? It's a very noisy swallow. Sorry if the camera picked that up. No, we've got Spain, no, we've got UK, no, we've got US. No worries, Dominic. My pleasure, buddy. How was the sound and video quality, by the way? Was it okay? I was looking at getting a better microphone, but it's a very high quality webcam. It's meant to have a really, really good audio on it, and people haven't said there's been any issues so far. These look great on camera. They look great in real life too, but London. Are you close to Element Games London, Cheech? Fantastic. All right. I'm going to end it by showing you something that the camera can't deal with then. This is my, this looks great in real life, I promise. This is my recent Great Unclean one. And yeah, the camera cannot do this. So, hasn't managed it. That's not too bad, but it looks much better in real life. It's kind of the highlights are a minty, toothpastey, spearminty green. It goes from a cold green to a warmer green, cold turquoise to a warmer turquoise, sorry, in the highlights. You still have a little while for the late pledges, but I would get in if you don't want to miss out on the limited edition stuff and the limited edition price as well. They will be more expensive in shop. Great. Well, say hello to Sean, the manager, next time you go into Element Games London. You lucky boy being close to it. Okay. Thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. Have a wonderful evening or rest of your day, depending where you are. Quite a lot of UK people here, so just enjoy your evening. I'm just waiting until the next A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. My life has become a countdown to Mondays. All right. Thank you very much. I won't close my book. I've done that before. I would feel appropriate to end the stream with closing it, but I don't want to turn this into a bad Rorschach test. See you, KM. Always lovely to have you. All right. I now have to find the end stream button. Very, very tricky stuff. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you for tuning in, and just give us some suggestions for future lives. There's some content that will be covered far better by them than others, so go for it. All right.